Welcome to episode 116 of the Workbench After Hours podcast. Decided to do a live stream since, it's a holiday technically. We had, both of us had the day off, so we're like, let's do it. And we are featuring two whiskeys this week, and it's because this one is really high in proof, so we're going to try something a little bit different after that. But we do have some good news in the gunning community. We're going to talk about some wins and what we can expect with that stuff. But before we get to that good news, Chris, what is this first one we're starting off with?
We're going to celebrate with Booker's. So
there you go.
It's a small batch from the Jim Beam collection, I guess you could say. But this is from the lumberyard, and I guess it has a little story about Booker, and I guess he signed up for the Air Force, and they had to verify his age, so they had to call his mom. So his mom said, "No, come back home." Convinced him to get back home. He went and worked in a lumberyard for so many years. Then he went and worked at the distillery and worked his way up from the bottom all the way up to master distiller.
Nice.
So, but this is aged for, it says 7 years, 1 month, and 7 days, and it was pulled on the rainy week of the Kentucky Derby. So it'll be interesting. It gives you a nice little card, which I like because it tells you like where it's been stored at for how long. It doesn't say like days. It's just like percentages of its life. So we'll see. It's a pretty high in proof, but
what's the proof again?
This one is 124.8, so 62% alcohol.
And he actually just found another one today, which is the most recent batch.
Yeah, and it was, I think, at the Beam house.
Yes.
So
couldn't decide which one to try, but we're like, let's go with the older one.
Yeah.
Let that other one age a little bit more.
Yeah. So this is almost a 10-year.
Yeah. So right off the bat, smelling this, it doesn't smell as high of a proof as it is. I'm getting a lot of sweetness off this.
Yeah, I get a little bit of like a nuttiness, like a walnut or some type of nut.
Yeah. And I would say kind of vanilla, caramel, but also like a molasses.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where that sweetness is coming from.
Yeah. It's pretty dark too compared to our other whiskeys.
But surprisingly, for the proof that it's supposed to be, it doesn't smell like it.
Yeah.
But we'll see what that taste is. Yep, that's 100. You can kind of taste that proof a little bit.
Yeah. Man.
Not bad, though.
It's got crazy,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It might take me a couple times to figure out all of that, but
wow.
Initial impressions, it's good.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah, it is warm, but the profile of it's all over the place. It's hard to just pick out certain notes because you get sweet, hot, and spicy, then sweet again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting some spices, and then you get that smokiness and smoky, a little smoky flavor going on there.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good, and then it kind of coats your tongue a little bit too.
Yeah, it coats it pretty good.
It definitely has a long stay on your tongue there, but it's
for our other proofs that we've had that this is I think one of the better ones because we've had the single barrel proof Jack. And that's just, whew.
Yeah, that's just hard to drink.
Yeah.
This, even though it's 120, whatever you said.
Yeah, 124.
So that's what, 62.40%?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty easy to drink.
Yeah. You feel it on the back end mostly.
Yes.
And the coating of it of your tongue, but it's still got it's all over the place on flavor.
Yeah, we've been wanting to try these Bookers for a while because, you hear that each one has a different flavor profile. They're each different because
different batches, different places they're stored at for different times.
And some of the YouTube channels that we watch, some will be like, yeah, this is great, but then others are like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And so we bought them, and then after we heard it, we're like, man, did we mess up?
Yeah.
But after trying this,
I think I'm happy that I bought another bottle.
Right. The one you found today was what, 125?
Yeah, 125 out the door.
That's a lot for a bottle of booze.
It is.
Not going to lie. But this isn't one you're just going to go through real quick.
No,
This is one that you pour a finger in here.
Yep.
Drink it.
Let it chill.
Yeah. So. I don't even know if I would put this on ice. I think I would just drink this as is.
It's not bad. I was thinking it was going to be really rough, but there's a lot of flavor in it. So
yeah, Bookers. They're they come out with new batches every quarter is what it is. And so again on allocation, but we've been able to find them.
Yeah. Here lately I've been finding them a lot lately.
But once they're on the shelves, they go quick. They don't last more than a day or two. even though they are pricey, but people like to collect them. And I got one on the shelf. So he's got the 22, I got the 23, and then he just bought the 24.
Yep.
So one of these days we'll like line them up and
compare all of them.
See if they're...
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wow.
That's good. So we're going to drink this for a little while, and then we'll talk about some of the good news, and then we'll switch over to the other one that we have that's less proof. So I don't know if I wanted to drink it this high of a proof the entire episode or not, but...
Might not be able to go home.
I know, right? But yeah,
it's good. Straight up. It's neat.
Are you going to throw it on the rocks or not?
I'm debating about it.
I can't decide.
Yeah.
I might just... I don't know.
I'll do it.
You know what? Screw it.
Let's do it. We do it with all the other ones.
I got more ice anyway.
Yeah.
The other one I'm really excited for to try, I found today, and I'm pretty sure we haven't had it on the podcast, but it's Elijah Craig Toasted.
Yeah. I don't think we've had that.
I was asking the guy at the liquor store, I'm like, you think this is good? Which I haven't had a bad Elijah Craig.
Yeah.
He's like, man, if you give somebody who doesn't like bourbon a glass of that, they'll love it. So we'll talk about that one after we finish this.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, we got some good news.
Yes, about time.
And we'll see how long it stays good news. But for all of you who lost your pistol braces and bump stocks in a boating accident, you're starting to see a lot of people actually recover those.
Man, they must be really good divers.
I know. It's funny. Like so many boating accidents, they went up like 1,000% within the last couple of years. And then all of a sudden, maybe it's the water levels going down.
Yeah, going through that drought,
Yeah, you're able to see them. But so two things. And obviously, the pistol brace rule got vacated. So the whole lawsuit there between, Mock versus Garland got vacated. So what that means is it's gone. Like it doesn't exist anymore if it gets vacated. So I know there was that, and when I was doing transfers for a lot of people that were buying guns online that had the brace, it was like a gray area. It's like, well, technically the final rule is in effect, but since there's a lawsuit and it's in the court system, is it? I'm like, I don't know. But when people were ordering them from the websites, they came with a piece of paper saying, as of right now, it's legal, but this could change, especially in your area. So I was like, I don't know, honestly. We'll just say it is, take it off or something. But so officially, as of, I think this was on the 13th or something like that recently, it was a judge, Reed O'Connor, basically finally what we've all been saying is that the final rule violated what an agency can do without Congress passing a law.
Yep.
So Congress has to pass laws to change anything gun related.
It's crazy.
Right? Well, and then the ATF comes in with these final rules and changes the definition of everything to make a lot of us gun owners that are responsible and the criminals, really.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't just change your mind.
Yeah.
Because we have a whole episode going over that, and is basically turning people into criminals overnight.
Yeah, and
you can't do that. Like,
it's crazy that, it's good, it's good, it's good. Oh, now it's bad.
And one thing we mentioned is, like, those were in common use.
Yeah.
So it's one thing if it's not in common use, it's a little bit different, but there were millions of these estimated
everywhere.
out there.
Yeah.
So under the final rule, there was an estimated 99% of pistols with these stabilizing braces would have been reclassified as NFA items.
You know what? I almost wish I would have applied back then.
Yeah.
Just so you get a free SBR.
Yeah. Whew. That's a little bit different on the rocks. Have you tried that yet?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, man.
I didn't get the proof. I got a lot more sweetness and then like toasty, like is what I felt like it tasted like.
Yeah, I don't know. I just got smacked in the face with that proof though on the rocks. It really brought that out. But yeah, because there's, if you don't know, if you have a rifle that's 16 inches or longer, that's considered a rifle with the barrel anyway. If it's under 16 inches, you could get a 14.5 with the pinned muzzle.
Yeah,
it's still a rifle, but usually if it's under 16 inches and you have a standard stock on there, it is what would be considered a short barrel rifle, which falls under the NFA Act. And a way to get around that were these pistol braces,
and
which were actually made for veterans with injuries that couldn't actually hold up
Or
a
holds,
rifle,
yeah.
they would just, stabilize it with their forearm. And that was legal for what, 10 years?
No, longer than that.
The ATF said, hey, these are
Yeah.
totally legal. And then all of a sudden, oh no, it's a workaround.
Yeah, they're saying it was a workaround that, we only had one brace that was legitimate at the time. And I was like, how can you say only one brace? They're all the same. They all function the same. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah. And it came with a letter. The SBA theory ones anyway came with a letter saying, hey, the ATF said this is completely legal. Just don't change it in any way. Like, you can't stuff anything in the back of the brace there to make it a little bit more solid.
Didn't they have a document come out saying you can actually shoulder it a little bit?
Yeah. And that's always been a big debate is, can you shoulder it? Can you not? They said you can put it up to your shoulder, but don't do it. It's
don't do it.
Are you really going to watch me shoot this and see how many times it touches my shoulder? No, let me do what I want.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it is a workaround for an SBR, but
they allowed
it is what it is. Yeah, they approved it. And, there's people that are out there using it as a brace.
I think SBRs, it shouldn't even be an FA item along with silencers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really disagree with those.
I
understand full autos. Yeah. Yeah. You probably need something for that, some paperwork so people know. But for the other ones, I don't see the point. Because even, like, if you read the law, it's like if you have the means to make it an SBR, they can take you to trial for it. Well, every one of us has got some type of cutting material or saw in our garage. Most of us do. So right there, you have the means to make it a short barrel rifle. So they could technically send you to trial for it.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Yeah. So if you were worried and weren't sure, it's now legal. That final rule, since it's been vacated, it's just kind of like it never existed. Not that that's going to go away. I mean, they're going to keep coming after these, that they may throw out another rule, final rule, or, the left is going to try and keep banning this.
They're going to keep trying until they get somewhere.
Yeah. So for now, that final rule with the pistol brace, forget about it. It never existed. You can legally own the pistol brace. You don't have to register it as an SBR, which is nice. I mean, if you want to, feel free. But at that point, put on a regular stock. I had, years ago, probably in 2014, I bought an AK pistol. It was the Zastava ZPAP 98, or I forgot what model it was. But it was a pistol AK. Not a practical gun.
Yeah.
Especially, naked pistol. I tried to shoot it a couple times without any stock on it or anything. It's one of those cool to have, but not practical. Loud as hell, like a cannon. But I bought an SBA 3 brace and put it on there, and it made it into a little bit more of a usable gun.
Yeah.
Still not that practical with that short of a barrel, but you could technically stabilize it with that brace and get a little bit more accuracy, because you don't want to be inaccurate with a 7.62 round.
Yeah. That'd be a little crazy.
You think they would want the pistol braces on there to allow us shooting it more accurately?
Yeah, you would think.
Like,
but
okay, so we're going to take it off. And
we're talking about
accurate.
the ATF, though, that can't tell a gun apart. And
freaking jokers.
And know how to tear down a clock.
Yeah. So, and it's been a whole, I mean, when was this introduced? Like a year or two ago?
Yeah. I feel like we've been, it had to be like at least a year.
But good on Judge Reed O'Connor for basically saying what we've been saying all along, is that they can't make these laws or final rules without Congress voting on it, because that's the whole thing. So, which I wonder if this is a precedent for the other final rules.
Oh, I'm sure.
The latest one are, if they're trying to ban private sales, and basically if you sell guns, you're an FFL. I mean, if this one violated what the agency can do without Congress, I mean, shouldn't that apply to all the other final rules they came out with?
I would think so, because they got to pass that law.
Yeah.
They're not the Congress.
No. It's not
how our system works.
So we'll see with the other final rules, how those come out, especially with that being a dealer one, trying to get, and that's, we've talked about that. That's ridiculous.
They're crazy.
Just, you can't sell a gun because you're a... No.
Yeah.
And that gun show loophole, come on.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's been proven that it's not really what happened. So yes.
So if you are interested in it, there is a whole thing, summary on that whole thing, Mock versus Garland, that you can go through if to kind of see the outcome and the actual wording that they had for it and everything. But long story short, vacated and it's gone. So
find those
number
pistol
one
braces,
there,
yeah.
right?
Find those pistol braces. Find that boat.
I don't have a gun with one of those on anymore. I ended up selling that AK pistol I had to a guy because I'm like, this is like it's not practical. I mean, it was cool to have, but I'm like, it sucked to shoot because at the time I was only shooting indoors, and when I shot that indoors,
I bet
it was. Were you? I don't think you were there. Were you?
I don't think on that one. I remember the first time I went to the inside range with you, and you had your AR, and you didn't have a flash hider, and I was sitting there with my pistol, like aiming down sights, and I just see a green ball flash come across my lane. I was like, "What in the hell was that?"
Yeah,
and it was you.
Yeah, this was pretty much the same thing, because with the AK pistol, there's no muzzle brake on it, and then it was just shoot it, and then a big old muzzle flash on the end because I didn't have a brake on there, and it sounded like a freaking cannon. And there were people at the checkout outside of the range at the very front of the place that as soon as I fired it, and I looked back, and everybody was looking at me like, what the hell was that? And I'm like, all right, I don't want to be that guy. So I shot it a couple times, but I'm like, this is I'm just gonna piss everybody off and not cool. So, got a comment here. I'm a bit confused. Braces came back on the market after a federal judge deemed the pistol brace rule as enforceable. Was that?
Is that only preliminary?
Maybe.
I don't
remember that. Yeah, they put basically a hold on.
Yeah.
They put a hold on the whole pistol brace thing. So they were waiting for it to go to trial. But if you were part of one of those gun groups that fell under.
Yeah, they were allowing you to do it.
Yeah, you could have it. But if you weren't part of that gun group, then you had to comply with the ruling. But now it doesn't matter. I mean, they're legal. So yeah, back in October. I think that was it because it was if you were part of was it Gun Owners of America, or there were a couple?
There's 2 or 3 of them. I thought there was.
And I know down in Texas was one of the places. Yeah. So
Texas is trying to do a lot of things. Especially with silencers now. They're trying to make it where here in Texas, you don't need to make it an NFA item.
I don't think so, but I wish. Will the ATF refund the $200 some people paid? Probably not. There was that time period where it was for free.
Yeah.
When they first introduced that pistol brace ruling.
Yep. They said it was going to be free for up to like May or something like that.
It kind of seemed like a trap.
It did.
Like they're like trying to scare you into registering, because once you register it, whether you pay the $200 or not, they waive it.
And then they know what you have.
They know what you have. So, it saves 0 lives.
Go figure.
Yeah. A lot of boating accidents. So probably somebody got killed in that boating accident. I don't know. But it's just ridiculous because it's not going to.
Yeah, all it's going to do is make you more accurate. That's what it was for.
Any of the mass shootings that they show online or on the TV and stuff, I don't remember a single one of them having a pistol brace. Do you?
Yeah, I don't either.
No. There were scary black AR rifles or whatever, but I don't ever remember seeing a gun with a pistol brace used in a mass shooting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then, of course, the left is now freaking out that these are now legal. But whatever.
Oh, well.
You know? They're going to keep, this is a win now. It's great. But that doesn't mean the fight's over. They're going to keep coming after this stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're going after anything and everything they can.
Yeah.
Ammo, and then how you store your gun.
Everything that keeps coming out from them is more and more. Like it used to be, we're just going to ban AR-15 style and then AKs. Now, a lot of the stuff, they're just blatantly trying to make everything but revolvers.
Yeah, pretty much. That, if it holds more than 10, it's considered an assault rifle or an assault pistol.
Yeah, it's just getting worse. So basically, they've shown their true colors, and they basically want to ban everything
that you have.
Yeah. We'll see what happens if that actually,
Yeah, I mean,
we don't get invaded anymore. Yeah, guess what? We're gonna end up, and then it's gonna end up like UK, where everybody is scared of knives now. They have a huge knife problem.
Yep.
And a bunch of crimes with knives, and now that's the big thing. Like, don't say the word knife.
Yeah.
Why do you do carrying a knife? Why are you?
I mean,
what
everyone
was that
carries
actor?
a knife.
Isla.
Oh yeah.
That action guy. I don't know. I can't remember his name. he's from the UK somewhere, but he was on a podcast saying, I can't believe you can go online and just buy a knife. Seriously, dude? like I get some of those zombie knives that are a little ridiculous, but who cares? It's a freaking knife.
Yeah.
And guess what? Have guns become legal, and then people trying to stab people with those knives, that problem will get solved real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bump stocks were only used in one mass shooting where they were literally never found a motive at all. Yeah. Okay, there you go. But again, what constitutes a mass shooting? 2 people?
Yeah.
It's like it's different. Like,
it's different by state and who's reporting.
Yeah, who's reporting it. It seems like it's more than 2 people. But a lot of them are, and they don't say it, but it's gang related, especially up in the Chicago area. But they call it a mass shooting because, several people are involved. And that then constitutes as a mass shooting. But it's like, no, that was all gang related. If you actually look and see what's going on here, it's not somebody
walking. The only thing
walking.
I can remember with a bump stock is the one in Las Vegas at that country concert.
Yep.
That's the only time I could remember them actually physically saying a bump stock caused a mass or was used in a mass shooting.
Yes. So moving on from the pistol braces, as we're going into bump stocks now, those are now legal, as you can probably tell by the title of this episode. There was the whole thing with after that mass shooting in Las Vegas in 2017. Supposedly that guy had bump stocks. I still don't believe that.
I don't believe it either.
As someone who shot a bump stock and then listening to that fire on the TV, there's no way he was that consistent for that long with a bump stock.
Yeah.
If he is, he's one hell of a...
That or he got really lucky with a bump stock.
Yeah. And...
I mean, I've seen... The closest thing I can see that I've seen like that is what I sent you a text earlier this week with that shocker trigger.
Yeah.
Did you see that? So it goes onto your trigger and it's like a paintball gun, the dual action.
Would you send that to me in a text?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you sent me a picture where you were at.
Oh, that's probably why. I was at the bar. I don't remember that.
Yeah. But I was like, man, this is cool. And I was like, never heard anything from you. But it's like a trigger assembly that uses the AR trigger. It just slides up and it pins into place. Mm-hmm. And then you can convert it and it toggles it. They call it the shocker.
Nice.
But it's like a paintball gun, and you can sit there, dot, 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 dot. Trrr. I was like, man, that's pretty wicked.
So, but you're still having to pull the trigger every time, right?
Yeah, every time, but you can do it quicker like this.
Right. So that technically doesn't meet the definition of machine gun either, because it has to reset every time, right? And be pulled. Nice.
Yeah, but I was like, man, that's pretty wicked.
That's pretty awesome. The problem is, ammo is expensive.
It is.
So, I mean, it's fun. That'd be fun for a little bit.
I thought about, because it literally just slides in. You got your pins for where the trigger guard is, and that's what it uses. And one of them's a set screw, the other one's just the pin, and then you pull them out and it drops.
Yeah. Going back to that Las Vegas thing, through a window quarter mile away, and then he brought in truckloads of firearms up an elevator. So they claim. Like, really? Yeah.
Like, who didn't catch that?
Yeah, you almost need a forklift to haul that number of guns they had. Yeah, how is nobody going to catch that? Yeah, I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but there's something going on there that I don't think we got all the information. Again,
we'll probably never get all the information.
No, there's no way that was all from a bump stock. I had one, and I sold it before any of this happened because I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I had it on my Stag Arms Model 3 at the time, and it takes some getting used to get that set just right to where you get that recoil to push it back. I got it to work a few times, but not like a whole magazine in a row.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
And then listening to the news videos on that, it's like, there's no way.
Yeah.
No way.
It sounds like
especially if you're shooting downward, because he was up in the building shooting downwards. There's no way he's getting that consistency
with a bump stock.
A bump stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Trump, basically his administration with the ATF, and then they determined that, we're going to ban those. Because, I mean, he didn't have a choice. He had to do something.
Yeah.
I think he was pressured into having to do something. So basically they ended up banning bump stocks and reclassifying them as machine guns after that shooting.
Even though definition of machine gun is you pull the trigger once and it just continues to fire.
So the National Firearms Act actually defines a machine gun as any weapon which shoots, is designed to shoot, or can be readily restored to shoot automatically more than one shot without manually reloading by a single function of the trigger. So,
yeah,
basically, you pull the trigger and it goes.
Yep.
Now, if you have to let go of that trigger and do any type of reset, that's technically not a machine gun.
Yep. It's also the definition of an assault rifle.
Yeah, exactly.
So crazy. They kind of correlate.
Wait, there is no definition of an
Well,
assault
that's what
rifle,
they say it is. That's what they say it is. When you look it up, it says it is a machine gun, pretty much, because of that definition.
But luckily, the Supreme Court has recently ruled on the bump stocks, and we got something good. It was Garland versus Carhill, or is that what it says?
I think so.
But there's another whole text to their outcome of this. Basically, it's 42 pages, so it's pretty legit. But they talk about Justice Thomas, who now the left side is going after this guy because he's appealing to the NRA and the whole right wing and all this stuff. So, but read through this. Justice Thomas basically gave his opinion and ruled on this whole thing. So he's the one that basically said, "Hey, this doesn't meet the definition of
a machine gun."
A machine gun. So the decision was made by Justice Clarence Thomas. Congress has long restricted access to machine guns as a category of firearms defined by the ability to shoot automatically more than one shot by single function of the trigger. Semi-automatic firearms, which require shooters to re-engage the trigger for every shot, are not machine guns. Really? Yeah.
Wow.
This case asks whether or not a bump stock as an accessory for semi-automatic rifles that allowed the shooter to rapidly re-engage the trigger and therefore achieve a higher rate of fire, if this converts the rifle into a machine gun. And they basically said that we hold that it does not, and therefore affirm it.
Yep.
So
I agree with that.
yeah. And if you go through that document, they actually have, the Supreme Court actually has a diagram of a trigger and how it works and the reset thing to where it shows basically if you have to do any reset and then you pull the trigger again. That's
pretty much got to have that auto shear and everything.
Yeah.
To make it a full auto.
So this should apply to like all those other
like binary triggers and things like that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a whole article on that thing with his response, and there is a whole uproar on the left side over this in particular, just because of the whole Las Vegas shooting.
The thing is, they don't understand how guns work, let alone the ATF director doesn't know how guns work.
Yeah.
Or our president, he doesn't understand how a bullet works. Remember, one bullet has 100 rounds in it,
right? Which would be awesome.
Wow, that'd be crazy. But like, they need to go and actually read and do their homework and do their due diligence.
Yeah.
But they don't. They just want to believe whatever they hear.
Well, the fact that their expert could not take down a Glock.
Yeah.
Several times, and then you couldn't put it back together.
Yeah.
Which we did a whole episode debunking that, and then I mean, I get it. You're on camera. There's that,
Yeah.
There's the pressure of being on camera, having to do it. I did it.
Yeah.
Like I stumble on camera all the time. I was still able to take the Glock apart real quickly and then put it back together.
Yeah.
And he couldn't. They're expert.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. But, and obviously, it's a big issue with the left because they're like going back to the 2017 shooting in Las Vegas. They're like basically saying that, that was meant to kill a bunch of people. That's all it was for. And now the right wing Supreme Court is doing all this stuff, and it's ridiculous and not true at all. Recently, the Senate actually held a vote to try and ban the bump stocks.
Wow.
Like they did, and it did not pass, luckily. But after the ruling from the Supreme Court came out, the Senate then tried to have a vote to ban it, which it's like, come on. If you read his response, he says everything that
it's crazy
why it's not a machine gun. But of course, it's scary. It's used in one bad instance by supposedly a bad person, and then that's going to affect the rest of us.
Yeah.
But there have been a lot of news outlets on TV with people saying how ridiculous this is, that it's legal. I read an article on Yahoo today about it, but basically they were saying as a firearm, there was a quote from somebody saying, as a firearms owner myself, there's no legitimate use for a bump stock. They are tailor-made for mass shootings.
No.
First of all, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
no, what it is.
these companies are not making these
for mass shootings.
with the intent to be like, oh, hey, we're going to make these so then somebody could take it and do a mass shooting. That is,
no. They're making it so you can simulate what a full auto is. That's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone wants to shoot a full auto. I'm pretty sure.
I would love to shoot one.
They're pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So if you can spend a little bit of money and do it yourself and have that kind of simulate, but not have that NFA item or spend thousands and thousands of dollars on something so you can have a full auto, they're going to do it.
Right.
I mean, look at the Glock switches.
So Lost in Space says, sadly, the state of Nevada outlawed bump stocks by statute after that shooting. The Supreme Court decision does not apply to a bunch of states. Yeah, unfortunately, you got states like California and the whole freaking West Coast and East Coast that, you know, even though it's
legal, they make it not.
Yeah. It's the reason we live in the Midwest.
Yeah.
We live in the Midwest. We're better. Or the South.
Yeah.
Parts of the South, anyway. But for the most part, if you live in a gun-friendly state, you can now recoup these from the lake or wherever, the ocean, you lost them in.
Man, these droughts are going to be helpful.
All right. Yeah, so, but again, they're going to come after these. They're going to keep coming after these. Just because they made that ruling, again, it's going to come down to the states, and then they're going to have, oh, well, this is... Blah,
Remember,
blah, blah.
they are a democracy. They want us to be a democracy. We are a republic. We need to revisit that. Like,
But
they want to take control. That's a democracy. We're a republic. We're supposed to be in control of them. That's what the Constitution's there for. So we could overthrow a government.
Right. But the fact that they're saying that these companies make these things specifically for mass shooting is the most ridiculous comment you can ever say.
That's like saying drinks, they make these so people get messed up all the time.
Right. Like we're trying to make these things fun for people. Again, it by the Supreme Court and all of their diagrams and everything show that it is not a machine gun. Yes, you can increase the rate of fire, but you're still technically pulling and resetting the trigger every time. And again, you're not going to be that accurate with a full auto or a makeshift full auto with these. It's just not. They're just fun to have.
Yep. Yeah.
But I was, and they're like, oh, I think American people understand what common sense gun safety is and that we shouldn't own these. No, come on.
Common sense isn't common anymore.
No.
Because they don't teach it anymore because you're...
If it was common sense, we would vote correctly and none of you would be able to argue any of this.
Common sense, you guys wouldn't be making up your own laws.
Yeah, they're saying it's going to endanger our communities, endanger law enforcement, and make it easier for mass shootings to unleash carnage.
No.
All right. Aside from the Las Vegas shooter, which I still don't believe has the bump stocks, if you are doing a mass shooting with a full auto, you're less likely to be accurate. You're going to do less damage because it's going to go all over the place. Unless you're like highly trained and to use that and like super crazy good.
There isn't a handful of people.
Yeah. It's not going to make us safer or unsafer. It's literally up. I mean, those were around for a long time up before then.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what? Do we have a problem?
Nope. That was the first time you hear about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Washington as well. Yeah, Washington. Freaking Washington. Oregon, probably. I don't know. Second Amendment is the only common sense gun law. The rest of them are infringements. That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah. I say all the time. But so, again, if you're in a state that allows you to recoup these from the bottom of the body of water you lost them in, awesome. I wonder how many people actually still have these.
I'm sure a lot.
Yeah. Again, there's a couple different variations and stuff.
Yeah.
But did you shoot it?
I didn't shoot one. I've heard about it. I know people that have shot them. And they said they're not.
Yeah.
It's you got to have it set just right, and then even then, it still didn't work like they were supposed to. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it's tough, and it's like at that point,
it's more of a hassle than it is having it.
Yeah, it was fun to try. but it's not something that I was willing to just
keep
on my rifle and have, because then it's like, well, shit, if I got to use my rifle in the home defense situation where something comes up, I don't want a stupid bump stock on it. I want to be able to accurately shoot what I'm doing. But there was the one I had a block to where you could keep it from engaging.
Yeah.
But still, the whole thing was plastic. And of course, now they're going to be like, oh, well, you could 3D print those at home, so you can't, those are going to be really dangerous. Come on.
Yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, there's a whole uproar on the left side of that ruling.
I'm sure. They want control.
I watched the video Colin Noor did on it, and all the news outlets that he was showing clips of. I'm just like, you guys are so stupid.
Yep.
Like, come on.
I just laugh because like the left think it's so easy to get a gun, and then you watch them actually. I'm gonna show you how easy it is, and they got denied like 3 times because they first didn't have their license or proof of record. They didn't have the right address. Like, it's not as easy as you think it is.
No.
Like you better be prepared when you go purchase a weapon.
Yep.
Especially a gun.
Yep. Don't be like Hunter Biden.
Yep.
Although I'll probably just get a slap on the wrist like he's going to.
Yeah.
God. I would like to see him do jail time just because.
It'd be funny.
Yeah, it would. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
So if you want to, that is a question. That was a good episode. And, should a non-violent felon be able to own guns? Because right now they can't. Trump didn't do anything. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't have anything to do with guns. But because he made a bad business decision, he's now a felon and technically can't own guns. Should that keep you from being able to own guns? I don't think so. As long as it's a non-violent crime like that.
I mean, the only thing that I have an issue with is the Hunter Biden lying on the form to purchase a gun. That's kind of the area I'm like, you're lying on a gun form.
But again, somebody that's addicted doesn't really think they have an addiction and it's under control. So I don't know. That's iffy. But it's like, okay, so in Trump's case, his was different business decision. But then if you get somebody that's actively lying on that form, could be a little bit different.
Yeah.
What was his...
What's his intent?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trump had no intent with a firearm. Yeah. Anyway, his was completely outside of guns, but because he's a felon, technically, he can't own guns. And
it's BS.
Let us know your guys' thoughts on that. Should a non-violent felon like Trump and technically Biden, Hunter Biden, should they be able to own guns?
Yeah.
Technically, they can't now, and Trump has to give up his guns. We went over that on that podcast episode, but let us know what you guys think of that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I get, obviously, a violent felon should not own them.
Yeah.
Especially depending on what it was, but yeah.
Crazy.
So now that a pistol brace is legal, do you think you would build
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking?
I really still want to build a 458 SOCOM.
Yeah.
AR pistol.
You should do it. I know a guy.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about building a 300 Blackout.
Yep.
But that's more going to be for suppressed.
So the SOCOM, that still would be in the AR-15 platform, not the 308 or AR-10? Okay. So Aero Precision coming up here in July of next year, coming out with their 4th of July builder sets. Every year, they're awesome. And that's why I have that red builder set that I want to build, but I'm still technically like, well, I'm going to wait to see what they come out with their 4th of July. And there was a teaser that they might have 5 different Cerakote options, which would suck because then I've loved every one that they've come out with, especially the ones with the American flag. I really like that parchment one I had.
Yeah, with the Second Amendment.
Oh, that thing was awesome.
I wish I would have built one.
Yeah, so that was cool. So I'm kind of waiting to see what they come out with before I build that red one. But I think the red would look really good on this wall back here.
Yeah, it would.
You should wait and see what they have.
I should. I really want to build another one just to build. But I've also been thinking about taking my first AR that I built, tearing it down, and going crazy with it because it's already blue. But I was thinking about changing the uppers.
Fair enough.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be several I'm going to want.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, shit. Well, because like with the 300 Blackout, it's better under 16 inches, especially if you're going to shoot it suppressed. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the
458 SOCOM.
Not too familiar with that round.
It's a big round. It's a big boy.
Nice. I know the ammo's expensive and harder to come by. But 300 Blackout got it right back here with the suppressor on there. I love that thing.
Yeah, I know.
The only downside is ammo's more expensive.
Yeah.
But still great to shoot suppressed. Would you go 300 Blackout with the SBA 3 brace on there? Maybe do like a 9-inch barrel or something like that?
I was debating.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to build one just to have.
Yeah. But what sucks is when you go with the shorter handguards and stuff, especially with the Aero Precision Cerakotes, they look better on a full 16-inch rifle versus the smaller stuff. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think they're going to come out with something and you're like, oh, man.
Probably.
You're all about the red, white, and blue stuff, so you need to get one of those flag ones.
Yeah.
They had one that was like kind of like the Statue of Liberty color a year or two ago. That was kind of cool too. So with it, 4th of July coming up, I think they come out with those at the beginning of the month. I wish they came out with those a month sooner so we can have those for the 4th of July.
Yeah, then build them.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah, I've been really debating.
I'm holding out. That's why I haven't built that red one yet. I'm like,
yeah.
Or maybe, I'll just have to build
two. Darn.
two. Yeah. Yeah.
Darn, you got to have 2 guns. Oh man. What are you going to do?
Too many that I don't shoot now anyway.
I know. I need to go shoot bad.
Yeah.
I've been debating about just going one day after work or call in sick.
Do it. Do it. All right. So I'm finished with mine. Should we go to this next bottle?
If you want, or we can save it for next week. It doesn't matter.
Let's just go ahead and do it.
All right.
Because I got another topic I want to talk about that has to do with YouTube as well. So next up, go ahead and put this one away. The one. So I actually went. So if you guys don't follow this channel too often or whatever, I have a motorcycle channel called Rusted KC Moto, and since I was off today, I made a video for that, kind of like a moto vlog video of basically I needed to try out a new microphone that I got in my helmet. So I'm like, well, I could make a video out of this. So I was going to go, I needed a whiskey for this episode. So I'm like, I'm going to go make an episode testing it out, but whiskey hunting, kind of a thing. I got to see if it came out okay. But so I went whiskey hunting, and I had a particular whiskey in mind. I don't know the name, but I'll find it eventually. Didn't find it, but I went to one of the liquor stores that's pretty good on allocation. I'm pretty sure, like usually Wednesdays around here are when
they get their stuff in.
Especially like the 3rd week of the month.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm off. Obviously, I'm going to do this, and then riding a motorcycle. Hell yeah, I'm going to do this. Make a video at the same time, kill a bunch of birds with one stone. So I went to the place, Party Time Liquor, and they're usually pretty good on allocated stuff. Like if you ask and they have it, they'll give it to you.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Unlike some other places that are like, no, or buy something else first. So anyway, I was looking for, I'm like, that's where I can find Buffalo Trace. I like to just drink that on the rocks. So I went up there. I didn't find the one I was looking for this podcast. I went up there and was like, hey, do you guys got Buffalo Trace? He's like, no, but we have Eagle Rare. I'm like, well, hell yeah, man. Give me that. I'll take that over Buffalo Trace. You kidding me? And it was like $64, $65.
That ain't bad.
So I know it's like a $44 MSRP. I'm fine with that.
I'd pay $100 for that bottle.
Yeah. I paid $77 for a few bottles out in California because, I mean, you can't buy it here.
No, it's hard.
And if you do see it, they're reserving it for some stupid raffle, which I hate.
Yep.
So I'm like, I will gladly pay $65.
You don't even show up when they tell you to send an email to go.
I know. But I love Eagle Rare. It's one of my most favorite whiskeys. It's so good.
Yeah,
so I'm like,
smooth.
I want that because the one I have opened is I got a quarter left.
Yeah.
So now I can finish that one off. Maybe we'll have it on the podcast again. But went to another liquor store. We're having some luck too. They didn't have what I was looking for. They had Booker's that Chris got today, but they only had one, and the guy before me got it. So I'm like, dang it. But then they had a couple of Elijah Craig. She's like, they had this, which is the toasted that we're going to try, toasted barrel. But then they also had the barrel proof, which is basically straight from the barrel, uncut. Yep. It's like 130.6 proof, which is more than this Booker's that we had.
Yep.
So I'm like, well, I haven't seen that. And, Elijah Craig, everyone we've tried has been really good.
Yeah, it has. It's been really good.
So, yeah. So after having this higher proof one from Booker's. I'm like, we'll save that barrel proof for a different one. But this toasted barrel, one of the guys up there was like, hey, man, if you find somebody that doesn't like bourbon that much, give them this, and it's super good.
You know, I think the last thing toasted we had was probably the Old Foresters.
I don't know. I had some toasted Eggos for breakfast.
I'm talking alcohol. But I think last thing I can remember that we had toasted was literally the Old Foresters.
Yes. Man, I haven't had an Old Forester I haven't liked.
Yeah, they've all been good. I've actually been looking for their 1924. They came out this year. I think it's allocated, but it's supposed to be really high in proof.
So I'm pretty excited for this. Elijah Craig is just so good. It's if you're a whiskey drinker like we are, Elijah Craig, really good. So toasted barrel, it is twice barreled for added complexity. And it's part of their small batch that brings it to new heights. After it's matured, they finish the bourbon in a second custom toasted new oak barrel where it's left to develop even more sweet oak flavor. And, oh no, it wasn't this one that had the date. So the other one, the barrel proof, had 11 years on it. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure we haven't had this on the podcast yet. So I wanted to try. Oh man, that just smells.
Yeah, it smells really good.
Smells really good. It's not as dark as the Booker's.
No,
but
man.
Yeah. So it says you're supposed to get flavors.
I smell chocolate.
Yep.
Like roasted chocolate is what I'm smelling.
So they're saying, what is that? What is that?
Bacot tea.
Bacot tea. I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
Sure. New leather, cinnamon, cedar, and jasmine. Warm and comforting notes of peach preserves, brown sugar, erupt with a chipotle spice, deeply layered and profound. I don't know about that.
No, I smell like chocolate, like candy almost.
Yeah, getting a lot of that, and then like a little bit of smokiness.
Yep, I get like chocolate and caramel with like, with a
Chocolate
like a
caramel.
smoke. Yeah.
It smells good.
Yeah.
Man. So completely different from Booker's, but damn, this is good.
Yeah. I drink both of them.
Oh my god.
Do I have to go to work tomorrow?
So it's funny because both of these are like, they have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Profile wise. The last few we've had on, okay, whatever. Not bad, but these two,
man.
And this has got a completely different profile than the Booker's. Like, I definitely got a lot of chocolate on that. And I don't like chocolate.
It's not like a dark chocolate either. It's more like
Milk chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't stay on the palate as long as the Booker's did.
Nope, it doesn't. But man, it's smooth.
Yeah. And basically on the website it says taste big, rich, and complex. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Delightfully spice and pepper notes fade to milk chocolate with a hint of smoke.
Yeah.
Definitely getting that. And then the finish, complexity continues, nicely warming with lingering chocolate and baking spices, 100%. That, I mean, I'm surprisingly getting a lot of that milk chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's still on
Yeah,
on
I
the
taste
tongue.
the chocolate. Man, that's good.
Yep. We got, well, from Party Time, I got the Eagle Rare. The Elijah Craig's I got from Gomer's in Lenexa.
Yeah, I love Gomer's.
Yes.
Gomer's is good too.
So, Nathan, you need to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
Did you talk to him about today?
I didn't get to because he was at work, but
I told Chris to invite you on the podcast today. Way to go, Chris.
yeah, my bad.
Blame Chris for that because you'd be trying this good whiskey.
You can always come to the house.
Right. But no, this is so good.
Yeah.
It's I know it says toasted barrel, but it's almost like dessert.
Yeah, it tastes like.
You know?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I don't get toasted. I just taste like this is like a nice. I want to be sitting by the campfire having s'mores and drinking this right now.
Right? Yeah, this is kind of like a s'mores. Like it is.
Yeah.
That guy was right. Like if I know somebody that doesn't like bourbon,
try that and you'll fall in love.
Exactly. Like damn.
What was this one we were trying?
I don't even know if I want to put this on the rocks. It's good just like this.
Yeah, it is.
Man, I should have bought 2 bottles of this. Damn it.
Yep.
All right. So next time you see a toasted barrel, buy one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Like all I'm getting, like literally, it's chocolate, milk chocolate.
So good. It's like
Yeah, see, I told you. Nathan wanted to come on. I tried, Nathan. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry.
I should have just reached out to you directly.
Yep.
Whatever.
Oh, well.
But yeah, it's good. It's only 94 proof. Did it say how long it was aged for?
No.
I don't remember seeing that.
The thing, too, I read, going back to the Bookers, that Jim Beam and Bookers like their whiskey to be aged a minimum of 7 years, which I thought was kind of weird because I don't know how long regular Jim Beam is aged for.
Yeah, I don't think it could be 7 years because that new one that came out with is 7 years.
So
maybe, I don't know.
Probably 4 or 5, I'm guessing.
Probably. I would say the minimum.
But I'm starting to get to the point now. I like the 10 years and up, which sucks because they're expensive, but they're so good, so smooth.
That Eagle Rare, 10 years.
Yep.
So good.
Jack 10 year.
Yes. Which,
if we could find it, I'd be buying a lot more of.
I know last week we had mentioned that I had the opportunity to to go to this King's Liquor down the street from us that used to have a raffle, but then the distributor came in and was like, hey, this is illegal. You guys can't do that.
Yeah.
So then they held on to these allocated bottles and like, hey, if you were part of that rewards program, hang on, we'll get back to you. Well, freaking what?
3 months later?
Oh, more than that.
Yeah.
They finally sent an email saying that, hey, if you were part of this list, we're having this day, and it happened to be Father's Day last weekend.
Yep.
And they're like, if you bring the email showing that you were a member, you get a chance to buy the 150 allocated bottles that we have.
Yep.
I was so excited. Like,
we've been talking about this for like weeks.
I know.
You got this, and I was like, dang.
I'm like, I'm probably 150 bottles. I'm probably going to get at least Jack 12 year, maybe some, I don't know, something good. So I was stoked. Well, then my dad, I'm like, hey, what do you want to do for Father's Day? He's like, let's go to Ponax on Saturday. So he's like, I might work on Sunday, so let's go out and celebrate Father's Day on Saturday. I'm like, okay. Well, if you've ever been to Ponax,
their margaritas are, ooh-wee.
They're good, but they are strong.
Yeah.
And we went through 2 pitchers. And then, we went there. We're fine. I wasn't wasted or anything. But then I had mentioned Kelly's in Westport. So if you've ever been to Kansas City, there's a kind of an area called Westport. They got a lot of cool old bars. Like Kelly's Westport Inn is one of the oldest bars in Kansas City.
Yep.
They have the Underground Railroad shit that was in the basement. So super cool bar. I love it. That area's gotten kind of sketchy. So I don't want to stay there too late. But we went there and we're like, all right, I'm not going to stay too late. Well, being an Irish bar, what did we get? Jameson. So we had Jameson Black Barrel. So we were drinking that. And it was one of those things where we're going to have one. Well, let's have one more. Yeah, let's have one more and then we'll go. Luckily, my wife was the DD for that night. So my dad and I were.
Remember the last time I went to Kelly's with you, it was bad.
Yeah. It's one of those things to where it just happens.
It does. But the next day sucks.
Yeah. I felt fine the next day.
That's crazy.
I woke up at 7. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's Sunday. I don't have anything to do. Laid there in bed, and then 9 o'clock came around. Nothing to do. And then Chris, I was up watching TV, and Chris texted me. He was like, hey, what'd you get? I'm like, what do you mean, what did I get? Last night? What did I get? I'm like, oh, shit.
I thought for sure you were fucking with me.
Nope. I completely forgot about that allocation thing.
Yep.
So it started at 9?
Yeah.
And then basically whoever showed up, as you showed up, you got a ticket, and then they were going to call you by number until they got rid of all 150 allocated bottles. Well, I forgot. Chris, unfortunately, didn't text me until after 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I called them. I'm like, is it still going on? They're like, yeah, it is. But by the time I got up there, they had
nothing
great.
Or nothing that you wanted to spend the money on.
Right. They had some Willets that were $400. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Ended up getting the Bullet Rye 12 year.
Yeah.
We actually surprisingly had Bullet Rye last episode, which is really good.
Yeah, it was.
This being a 12 year, I'm like, we like their 10-year bourbon.
We've liked everything Bullet.
Yes. Yeah, I'll get that. But man, I probably could have gotten Jack 12, like
probably.
you were saying, or something. Totally forgot about that. spaced out.
Oh man.
If you would have just called me at like 7.
Well, I was thinking, I was like, man, he ain't gonna forget about this. We've been talking about it for 2 weeks.
Here's the thing, though. If I sent you a text message that I was at Kelly's and didn't respond to whatever you sent me, you should probably be like, he's gonna need help.
I thought about it. I was like, well, I was just like, oh, I need to text Keith because we're on the way to Jack Stack, and I was thinking of Blanton's because they had Blanton's there.
Right.
I was like, oh, I wonder what he got. So I was like, hey, tell Cat text him.
Yep.
And I thought for sure you were messing with me, like, oh, I totally forgot. And I was like,
No,
yeah, okay.
No, I did.
Yeah, and then you called me, and I was like, oh, shit, he actually forgot.
Well, like, he's like, he didn't believe me. I'm like, dude, I would have texted you a picture of whatever.
Yeah.
So you like I did today. Like I sent you a picture of the Eagle Rare I got. I'm like,
Yeah.
I would let you know. Sucks.
Yeah.
But probably save me money.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, but whatever.
But we could be drinking Jack 10 or 12.
We could. I have 10. I would have needed 12.
Yeah. I'm so tired of this allocated stuff.
I know. I want to see what this tastes like on the rocks. But we got one more thing to talk about as far as like gun-wise goes, and that has to do with YouTube. YouTube is always changing their guidelines, right?
Yep.
And unfortunately, as a gun channel, I've had a lot of videos removed. And it sucks because when I first got into guns, and especially AR-15s, I knew nothing about them. And then I learned how to build AR-15s on YouTube, right?
Yep.
And all that stuff's gone now. You can't... I don't
even find how to build one.
I'm pretty sure you can't find any video because they banned all that on how to build, which, man, you're teaching people how to do stuff correctly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some people are going to use that in a bad way, but people are going to do stuff in a bad way no matter what.
Yeah.
It's educational. We're teaching you gun safety, how to do things right. But they, changed their guidelines, and any video that showed you how to build a gun or modify a gun in a certain way got taken down. I luckily haven't had anything recently taken down, but I went through a lot of time there where they were like, hey,
taking down everything on you.
But I'm like, when I created that video, that policy wasn't in effect, but they don't care. They're like, well, it is now, and anything prior still has to comply.
See, that's crazy. They should go back and like grandfather.
You would think.
You would think, because that's what everyone else does, especially law.
And they're like basically have a strike system. So if you get 3 strikes, they delete your entire account. After 1 is like a kind of a warning, and then like 2, like there's a lot of stuff that is involved, and then you can appeal it, but then it's hard to get a person to actually
look at it
because it's usually
AI.
You appeal it because it gets taken down by AI, and then you appeal it. AI takes a look at it again, and then says no, and then you finally get a person like on the Mac. Was that Mac 12 or whatever?
Yeah.
Video got taken down, and it took forever. And I'm like, I did nothing wrong. Yep. Based on your guidelines, I showed how to unscrew a fake suppressor.
Yeah.
And finally got that video back up. But just like everything else, YouTube has done their guidelines regarding firearms content that actually went into effect yesterday, which was the 18th. So as a creator, this affects me. This probably doesn't affect viewers, but it does affect content you're going to see.
Yeah.
And channels that have some of these videos you're going to start seeing these videos taken down. So basically they've added to what they've already won't let you do. Like right now, since this is technically a live stream, we can't touch a gun.
Yeah.
Like if I were to touch one of these guns on the live stream, we could get a strike and possibly deleted. So on a live stream, you can't hold or handle a gun no matter what, which sucks. But so they revised the guidelines even further to where I can't post, or any gun channel or anybody really can't post content on YouTube if the purpose is to do one or more of the following: sell firearms. Well, first of all, I'm a firearms business, Boomstick Tactical LLC. I don't use this platform to sell firearms. We do it to educate and just talk about stuff. But I like to mention, hey, we have these certain guns for sale. So, but we can't do that because,
technically it's not private though anymore. It's public, right?
What?
Because it says on there private sales.
So you can't sell firearms or certain firearm accessories through direct sales. Example, private sales by individuals, or links to sites that sell these. So I can't put a link to my website. Well, technically, I don't have them on my website. You have to click a link on my website to go to the arms list.
Yeah.
But anyway, You can't have links to, so I can't post a link to, say like Palmetto State for the dagger.
Oh yeah.
On here.
Okay.
So you can't post a link to that sells any firearms accessories that enable a firearm to simulate automatic fire. So we can't post a link to the bump fires, bump stocks, accessories that convert firearms into automatic fire, such as bump stocks, triggers, drop-in auto sears, and conversion kits. Well, the auto sears are legal, so.
Yeah.
Whatever. High capacity magazines or belts carry more than 30 rounds. I'm not going to mention what's back here.
There's nothing back there. It's a black wall.
Right? The standard capacity of magazines behind us, technically, we can't do much about. Take more than 30 rounds. Well,
that's 30.
That Glock one that in the middle there, there
ain't nothing there.
Right?
What are you talking about?
It's standard capacity, Chris.
Yeah, it is.
You also cannot provide instructions on manufacturing any of the following. So you cannot do a video on manufacturing firearms, ammo, which fucking sucks because if you want to learn how to reload, YouTube was a good source.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to go somewhere else.
Guess what you can't do anymore? Learn how to reload so you can't do videos on how to make or manufacture firearms, ammo, high capacity magazines, homemade silencers or suppressors, even though it's totally legal to make your own firearms, magazines, suppressors, accessories that enable a firearm to simulate automatic fire, accessories that convert a firearm to automatic fire, such as bump stocks, so forth. You cannot provide instructions on how to convert a firearm to automatic or simulated automatic firing capabilities. So we can't show you how to install a bump stock, which is
whatever.
Stupid. Provide instructions on how to install the above mentioned accessories or modifications, or instructions on how to remove certain firearm safety devices, such as a device that limits the release of a magazine. This does not include removal of a device to temporarily disable the weapon, like a gun lock. So some states like California have certain features.
Yeah.
So probably removing those features, it won't let you
show how to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
And they say, please note, this is not a complete list.
Oh, jeez.
And then you have age-restricted content, basically that aren't appropriate for viewers under 18, and that's basically showing how to 3D print anything to do with a gun, whether it be an accessories or whatever, magazines, firing a 3D printed firearm, firing a fully automatic rifle, or firing a firearm with a high-capacity magazine.
So here's my problem with YouTube, right? Well, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I have younger kids, right? Mm-hmm. I've noticed certain YouTubers that they watch.
Okay.
And their language they're using, I don't agree with. So I block that channel with that, right? But it'll still show the shorts of him, so my son can still click on it.
Yeah.
Why is that even allowed? Like, if it has that name in there, or anything, a short made by that person or whatnot, it should be blocked if I blocked it.
And it does it?
And it doesn't.
That's interesting.
Yeah. That kind of, like, where's their guidelines on that?
Who is it?
Oh, Joffrey. It's a YouTube one for kids.
See,
there's
YouTube for kids is
but
very
it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube because my son watches it on YouTube, and I blocked that channel, but it'll still pop up with the shorts.
And then you can watch it.
And he can watch it. And I don't like
They just curse or something or what?
Curse some of the things they do.
Dude, your kids curse anyway.
Well,
what do you care?
I've caught a couple of them like, this is what you should do to your parents. And I'm like, whoa.
Your kid flipped me off.
Oh, yeah, I know. He still does.
Right? He goes, hey, you're number one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, thanks, guy.
Yeah, he likes the F-bomb and MFer.
But you won't let him watch. I mean, what?
But I'm trying to prevent it. I don't want him. I've told him like quit watching because I've noticed it's come mostly from YouTube where he's watching it at. And then like there's certain things I'll say and I'm like, whoa, what did I just say? And I'll go take the phone at that point, like, and re-listen. I'm like, oh no.
What about TV? I mean, I'm sure on TV or movies,
we usually
right?
are not watching rated R around them. It's usually
PG-13 still curses though.
Sometimes, but most of the time they're watching Disney or like Iron Man, Marvel. Like, Like, I'm not even allowed to play Call of Duty in front of them,
Yeah.
let alone John Wick. So,
Or Grand Theft Auto.
yeah.
God.
And they like, oh, we'll play Grand Theft Auto. I was like, how'd you even hear about this? Oh, YouTube.
Yeah, that game shouldn't be played by anybody under.
There's a lot
16.
of games that like are rated M for mature, 18 and above, and
I'm not a gamer, and I have GTA 5, whatever the last one that came out, and I don't play story mode just because I like playing online and just messing around.
oh, that's crazy.
But obviously, to get to that point, you have to play a little bit of the story mode. Dude,
Yeah,
the language, like I don't care. I don't have kids, but the language that
don't
the
care, but
story mode has,
yeah, I don't care to the point like you're doing it at home, but when you start saying it out in public and stuff like that, I have an issue with.
right.
When you're behind our closed doors, I don't care. You can say what you want, but out in public, you better be respectful.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with these guidelines. I mean, they're ever changing. They change them all the time. What sucks is, again, if you've had a video that conformed prior but doesn't meet these guidelines, they're going to take it down.
Yeah,
Which sucks because, I mean, that's content that you don't get views on. You
Yeah.
lose money. So if they take it down, you lose all that money that video made,
yeah,
which really sucks. And it's hard to make money on YouTube now anyway, especially if you're doing a firearms channel. Like, there's so many videos, like my most popular videos, that I don't make any money on because they
yeah,
basically says it's not fit for our advertisers. So it's either limited monetization or none.
yeah.
Like, we could be making more money on YouTube if that wasn't the case, but it just sucks.
Starting to search in other platforms, I guess.
Or get some sponsors.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
yeah.
Other than Boomstick Tactical LLC. So if you're looking for the lowest prices in firearm transfers, we got them here in Kansas City.
Heck yeah.
There you go. But yeah. Nathan, what do you want to know how to uninstall?
I'm guessing probably like bump stocks and triggers and stuff like that.
Probably not, because that's modifying a firearm.
But you're uninstalling it, so you're
Right.
unmodifying it.
Doesn't matter. I'm showing you how to do something with something. Firearm.
That's what Rumble's for.
Bro, why would I show you how to uninstall it?
Yeah.
Hey, this is a video on how to install this bump stock. That's going to get 0 views. I don't know. Maybe I should try it and see what happens. I don't have a bump stock, though.
Neither do I.
And it sounds like I really can't do it. Even though bump stocks are technically legal again,
Yeah.
YouTube's not going to like that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So that's where we're at. Some wins, and then just YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Not so much a win,
I like the
but
wins.
yeah, the wins are good. You know, I could care less about the bump stocks. You know, it's great.
Yeah. Pistol braces I cared about just
Right.
because
That was a big
you're
one.
not just affecting people, you're affecting disabled veterans that serve this country.
Right.
That's where I have an issue.
That basically made millions of people
Yeah.
felons overnight.
Yep.
And like we said when that first came out, we talked about that in detail. You know, people that don't follow gun stuff, like my dad,
Yeah,
like he's
they
got some
wouldn't know.
guns, but that I told him, but he doesn't follow YouTube. He doesn't follow gun laws or anything like that unless I tell him. He would have had no idea. He doesn't own a pistol brace gun, but say he did, he would have had no idea that the ATF came out with this final rule that would have made that illegal. But then if he would have gotten caught in public with that, he would have gotten.
Yeah, I think man, that'd be weird. Like, how would you fight that? You'd have to go and fight that in court.
Right. How do you prove you didn't know? Like,
Yeah.
he legit would not have known that.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
Not like I get a letter in the mail saying, "Oh, hey,
Yeah,
this is now illegal," and you know, the local news, they may briefly touch on that, but
yeah, but it's just going to be like breaking news.
Right.
It'll be like, oh, in today's story, this is, and then right on to the next.
so that's also what I hate about those final rules is, I mean, unless you're pay attention to stuff like this, like
Yeah.
we do, you have no idea.
Yeah, there's a lot out there, and it's always changing.
And the fact that it came with a letter stating that, hey, this was brought to the ATF and they approved this.
Yep.
They said it was completely legal.
And then they change their minds.
Exactly. Bad on them.
Yep.
But so yeah, let us know anything. What you guys think
Yeah.
on any of that? Especially what we talked about last episode. Like I said, should non-violent
felons be able to own a gun?
Yes. Nathan, what do you think? Let us know.
So,
yeah, this stuff really good.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yes.
If I didn't have to work tomorrow, that bottle would probably be gone.
You're gonna drink that whole thing?
I probably could.
Remember last time you said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't do it on an empty stomach.
I don't know if we talked about this in the Nashville trip that we took last year, but Chris has kept telling Hunter, who was our also a co-host when we first started this, that he could drink a lot, drink him under the table and all this stuff. And I'm
Hunter
like,
didn't even try drinking though that night.
No, but you were always like, oh, I'll drink everybody here. So I hate poured Chris just to prove a point.
Yeah, this glass, that much.
Yeah,
every time.
So Nathan said ex-felons shouldn't for sure. So violent felons, if you're convicted of violent felony, we agree.
Domestic violence, yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, anything violent.
If you're non-violent, like Trump in this instance, that had a business deal that he mishandled or whatever the hell happened there. So it had nothing to do with firearms. But since it was technically a felony, he can no longer own guns as a felon. Since it had nothing to do with violence, had nothing to do with firearms, why can't he own guns? Would you be fine with somebody like that? Yes, he's a felon, but it was non-violent, had nothing to do with crime, with guns anyway.
Yep.
Should he be able to still own guns? I think yes.
Yep, I agree.
So
the Hunter one, little. That's the one I'm like. Ugh.
Anybody related to Joe Biden should be able to own guns because he doesn't like guns himself unless it's a shotgun.
He doesn't even like that. So
yeah. Oh yeah, and the whole thing about him. Because he's always like, oh well, the right wing or pro 2A people are always saying, you need these guns to
overthrow a tyrannical government.
Yeah, and he's like, well, if we were tyrannical and stuff like that, there you go, buddy. Yeah, you need F-16s and all this shit. It's always his argument.
Pretty sure you don't need anything.
That is exactly what you're saying, and how you're saying it is exactly why we need the Second Amendment.
Yep.
Why it was written, but
to protect us from the government.
Exactly.
So,
and like Lost in Space said a long time ago, that was the most important thing is the Second Amendment.
Yep.
The Second Amendment is the only common sense gun law. There you go.
Yep.
It doesn't restrict anything.
No.
At all. We need to go back to that.
Yes, we do.
But so yeah, if you are new here or whatever, if you want to leave us a message, we do on our website, boomstick-tactical.com, have a section there pretty much towards the top, but where you can leave us a message. So leave a message for the podcast. If you don't want to be aired, that's totally fine. But if you have a question or, maybe some ideas for some future episodes or something you'd like us to talk about or even do a video on the channel, go over there, hit that. You can just do it from your phone. You don't need a microphone. It'll just record. It's like a voicemail.
Yeah.
Basically, leave it for the podcast, and then we can listen to it. If it's something cool that, you want on air and we can talk about, awesome. If not, we can do all that stuff. So, yeah, check that out, boomstick-tactical.com. And then also click on the current inventory tab if you're looking for some stuff. Not a whole lot there, but we do transfer. So if you are in the Kansas City area, specifically on the Kansas side, $20 transfer fees.
Cheapest in town.
Yes, especially if you live in the southern Olathe area.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Your wife is here.
Hey.
Or maybe that's your son.
I don't know.
Somebody? Yo, Dad. Would your wife call you Dad?
No.
Okay.
Has to be the kids.
Hola. Yep. Don't watch that YouTube channel. Your dad said not to.
No more Joffrey.
Exactly. Highly recommend Elijah Craig Toasted.
Yeah, I would recommend both of them.
Right. It's your wife with Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So yeah, if you did not tune into this live episode, totally fine. I will come out with an edited version of this for the normal time Fridays at 8 a.m. Central Time. Check that out. Yeah. You had something on Glock slides, right?
Yeah, I've been looking to upgrade the Glock, the thing that I've never even shot. So I found this company called Zafari with a Z. I just saw them at Bass Pro, and I was like, what? I've never heard of this. And they had like different slides, upper kits, trigger kits, backings. I started looking at them, and I was like, pretty interesting. So you might, if you got a Glock, they got, not just for Glock, they got stuff for SIGs. They got a lot of different stuff, but they got like different slides for like RMR cuts, different Cerakotes that you might want, like camo Cerakotes on there. I mean, I think it's a little pricey just because Palmetto.
Yeah, you could get right above Chris's head right here, the Palmetto. They come in all sorts of different slide cuts.
And I think I saw a full upper kit for a Glock was like $450 roughly. But
you can almost buy a whole Glock for that.
Yeah, almost.
That PSA dagger right behind you?
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
$250.
I know. I think the slide on that dagger, but that comes with their barrels. They got a crazy amount of different barrels, threaded barrels, ported barrels,
right, and
slides. So just depends, each their own. Just I thought it was interesting because I never heard of the brand until I went to Bass Pro and saw it, and I was like, what is this? And I went on their website, started browsing. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never heard of that brand either.
So I was like, this is either is pretty new or I'm just been underneath the rock for a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I am actually currently looking for a trigger for my AR build that we've been talking about. Thinking Elfman Tactical. But if you guys have any recommendations, let me know. Yeah, obviously I don't do precision shooting or anything like that, but it's something cool. It's different. I really like what's on this one above me. The Flat Dark Earth one is the ALG Defense.
Yeah,
I forgot the name of it. ALG Defense. One of them.
Trigger.
But it's got the purple spring, which has a lighter trigger pull. But it's kind of like the mil spec one, but better.
Yeah. I think
ALG Defense is like the sister company to Geisley.
Yeah.
Because it's like his wife or something.
Yep.
Owns that. Which where the purple comes from. So I wanted to try something completely different though. Like I was looking, I know Nathan had the Aero Precision, the double.
I've got that one on my 6.5 Creedmoor.
And do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because you can't feel that first take up. And then,
yeah.
But I don't know.
Would you put that one on another gun if you're building one, or would you go something different?
I might go something different. I want to try a drop-in trigger just to see because you can make those finer adjustments.
Yes.
So that's the whole reason I'd do that.
That's why I'm looking at this Elfman Tactical, because with my wholesale discount, I can get one of their higher ones where you not only adjust the trigger pull, but you can adjust the creep on it, and it just I think the trigger's red to go with the red theme of the rifle, and I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to get.
Yeah, because I think on my Glock I bought one that you can do everything, adjust everything on it, and I haven't got to mess with it, but I think it's pretty sweet, especially if you like to tinker.
There you go.
So
cool. Well, if you guys have any questions, again, you can either, if you're watching on YouTube, comment down below, or go to our website, leave us a voicemail message, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Any ideas for future episodes or whatever?
Yeah.
Do it. So I think we'll call it an episode. Some good wins for sure. Yeah. But again, they're wins now, but they're going to be challenged. So
I'm sure.
Whatever. But the fact that the Senate tried to ban bump stocks after that ruling and it failed goes to show you.
Yep. Remember to vote.
Vote right this year. I'm not saying to vote right, like right wing this year, but well, yeah.
Make sure you make a good choice on voting.
Vote correctly.
Yeah.
This year. Exactly. Oh yeah. All right. Well, Chris, with all of that, what do you have to say?
Well, remember, this is a YouTube podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and tickle that bell. If you're listening on any of those platforms, please hit that follow button. And with that, everyone, have a good one.